Welcome to the American Dream, where we bring you the best from around the country, experts in real estate, helping empower your American dream. And today we're in Omaha, Nebraska, and we're going to talk about helping buyers, empowering buyers with a pre-approval. And we have incredible award-winning team here from Infinity Home Team. And it's so great to have you guys, Josh and Christina. Great to have you.
Great, thank
Thank
you.
you for having us.
And I know you have brought Brad with you, and we're going to get to him in just a second. Brad, we're thankful to have you with us today, our lending expert. But Christina, I'm just going to start it off with you. Let's talk about why it is so important for a buyer to be pre-approved before starting that home buying process.
Yeah, this is a big one. The customers really like to get ahead of themselves a little bit. They start looking at homes online and they get excited and they want to get in and see those homes right away. But a big thing is if they find a home and fall in love with it, they're not going to be able to submit an offer to a seller to be able to buy that home before another competing buyer can without that pre-approval. So the pre-approval is very important to make sure that when we connect with our buyers, we get them in front of our lender, which is Brad, and start that process so that they know what their real buying power is. And that way, when they find the home that they love, they have that pre-approval letter on them in order to submit a good offer.
Yeah, and that's important information because I want to ask you right there in your area right now, are you seeing multiple offers on properties as to why this is so important?
Yes, we are actually several multiple offers, and homes are selling very quickly. Some homes within an hour of it going on the market. So we have to be very quick and have all of our ducks in a row so that when you find that home, you can jump on it very quickly.
Fantastic. Now I know you and Josh work as a team. So Josh, I want to come over to you. You
Yeah.
got the buyer coming to you. They're excited. Like she said, they want to see properties that, they want to see everything. So what is your role as far as working them with Brad and with your lender to say, hey, I'm going to help contribute to this process to make sure they are locked in full pre-approval? What is your role in that? And how do you assist the lender?
Yeah, well, a lot of it has to stem with that first consultation, and it's really sort of letting them know what's going on in the market, what we're seeing as far as had Christina had said, the multiple offers and going over asking price. And preparedness is definitely the most important thing that we can kind of give to these buyers so that, as she said, when they do find the perfect one, we can go all in and we can go after it and get that home for them. So what we'll do is we'll sit down with the buyers. We'll have a quick consultation, kind of feeling out what they're looking for, areas they're looking for. And then Brad's actually been nice enough to equip us with his Fairway mobile app and things of that we can text simply to the clients and they can go ahead and start that process. And once they do, Brad does a great job of following up with them with a phone call or a Zoom call, and hopefully having them come into the office, and then really kind of gives them a lot of different scenarios as far as after he receives that paperwork from them on kind of the next steps going forward.
Which is so important, and your role in that is so important because how often do you find new clients are excited, maybe first time buyers that come to you and they don't even realize that this was the most important step before you go in and start seeing properties? How often do you see that happening?
It happens a little more often than we'd like. So it definitely is a great learning opportunity for us to kind of sit those buyers down and make sure that they know what is expected and know potentially, what these homes could cost and what they might be having to come with out of pocket at the closing table. So that's what we want to lessen the amount of scares that we could potentially be bringing on some of these new buyers.
Oh, that's awesome. It's good information, Josh. So,
Yeah.
Brad, let's come to you. You seem to be the man of the hour here. You hold all the nuggets and what these buyers need to get to you. Let's talk about that process as you start off with them. What do they need to do?
Absolutely. No, and thank you again for having us. Josh did a great job of kind of giving that initial information, and making the introduction. There's so many ways now. Everybody's wants that fast, convenient method of accessing the application and getting the quick approval. The only area that ends up getting compromised is being a strategic planner and using money as the tool in which it is to not only acquire the home, get that goal of home ownership, but also make sure that the program itself is set up in a way that gets them in a better financial situation down the road, not just today, but in the future as well. So um, really, it's today's technology is amazing. It takes out so much labor and work, because half the time I can almost have a fully verified employment history just by clicking a button. So it's really just data entry and a few minutes on the phone, hopefully followed up by, like Josh said, the face to face. There's still so much benefit from the relationship aspect of this, and the education is where consumers get the biggest benefit.
Right. And when you work with them like this at the beginning, do you notice that at the end they're like, "Oh, thank you so much." Do you think they really realize how much of maybe a headache or pitfalls that you guys avoided by being so proactive on the front end?
I absolutely see it. I know that we're talking about someone's financial picture, and it's a sensitive area. Unfortunately, there is a lot that goes into employment, income, assets, and so we're getting into this. I'm asking them to enter into this state of vulnerability, if you will, but we have zero judgment, and it's nothing that sticks with us through any process. So that's always been interesting, especially if you get the earn the trust of a family member or friend in this kind of situation. But yes, to answer that question directly, it's I get more feedback from the salesperson or from Josh and Christina after they've spoken to the client post meeting and discussing finances. So there's still that we don't want to go in feeling like we don't know everything about even our own financial situation. So it's something that I do enter into very cautiously. I make sure that before I ask any questions about the customer, that they get a good understanding of who I am, where I come from, because I am asking again for a lot of personal information.
That's awesome. Christina, clearly he is glowing at how well you work and how much you love what you do. You must love what you do to make this a career. Real estate is not an easy job, and I'm sure that you handle this with excellence. Talk about working with buyers specifically. What is it you love so much about that?
Well, working with home buyers holds a very special place in my heart. It doesn't matter whether they're buying their first time home or if they are building their dream home, if they've owned 7 homes or none. Being able to see the realization of somebody achieving that American dream, their real estate goals, and seeing the smiles on their face when they get those keys, there's nothing like it. It doesn't matter if there were any shortfalls during the transaction, if there were bumps in the road. It doesn't matter if there was, some hardships to get to that point. It doesn't matter if my buyers looked for a year before they found that house. Being able to see them reach that goal and the smiles on their face is exactly why we do this at the end of the day.
It is. It's at the end, it all fades away, and you're like, oh, that was so worth it. Did you see that? Josh, the same for you. What do you love about working with the buyers in particular?
I think it helps me. I mean, again, with Christina, I love seeing the faces on closing day. I love handing them the keys. I love taking those celebratory pictures and cracking open that bottle of champagne with them, on closing day. But I like a lot of it too is, and maybe this is more with first time homebuyers, but more of the educational process. I think being able to teach something to someone helps me also retain that information and helps me learn new things as well. So I really like being able to kind of teach them the entire process. And, one of my biggest things is I never want to be told like I didn't know that, or, you're going to know everything that I know, to a point that's going to make this transaction as successful as possible. And so being able to kind of show them what I know and what I've learned and is really rewarding to me as well.
That's fantastic. I'm sure you
Yeah.
guys all look forward to the day that you can probably hug a client at the end of the transaction again
Yes.
and say, we're so excited for you. I love that you guys really are empowering the American dream. And I thank you so much, Brad. We thank you for coming on and being a lending expert and talking about how important it is for the pre-approval, because we want everybody to have success. You want everyone to be able to say, we're ready, we can put in that offer, and we're going to do our best to find that home as quick as possible. Thank you so much, all of you, for being a part of the American Dream, and for everybody that you're helping there in the Omaha area. And we look forward to seeing you again next time.
All right. Thank you.